Driving my Chevy Beater across the bridge to Brooklyn, the early morning quiet enveloping the city is in direct contrast to the tension rattling through my mind and body. Joining the Army was not on my to-do list. I was an actor, trained at one of the finest drama schools in the country when I received greetings from the government. Canada was not an option. My only thought was get in, get out, get on with my career. To avoid the Vietnam draft, I enlisted. After 9 months of infantry training and graduating from officer candidate school as a second lieutenant, I'm assigned to the New York area. But no training, other than growing up in a decent family, prepared me for what I am about to do. The neighborhood is a street with 2- and 3-story walk-ups, no elevators. I find the building. The address, of course, is correct. I managed to decipher the name on one of the outdoor mailboxes. Perkins. I tried the buzzer a few times, but no answer. I come downstairs deciding whether to call the duty sergeant to say we'll have to try again the next day, when a young kid on a bicycle comes racing down the street. I called to him, "Excuse me, I'm looking for a Mrs. Perkins." He lights up, pointing to a tall Black woman walking towards us, carrying bags of groceries in both arms. "That's her," the young kid says before taking off down the street. The woman stops dead in her tracks. "Excuse me, are you Mrs. Perkins?"
Yes. And who are you?
"I'm Lieutenant Robbins in Fort Hamilton. Mrs. Perkins..."
Why are you standing there? What are you doing here?
"The Secretary of the Army has asked me to inform you."
You're coming to tell me about my boy? You're coming to tell me that? You can't tell me that. I don't want to hear about the Secretary of the Army.
"Mrs. Perkins, your son is dead."
No! Don't you say that! You can't come here and tell me that!
She brushes past me up the stairs. She's so angry, she trips, her groceries falling all over the steps. I try to help her.
No! Don't you touch that! I don't need your help. Just go on. Get out of here. You've told me what you have to say. Now go on. Get out. I don't need your help.
I back down the stairs, shaken. As I turn the corner, I glimpse back. She is still sitting on the stairs. When I relate to the duty sergeant what has happened, he is sympathetic, but gives me directions to yet another notification. Still reeling from Mrs. Perkins' anguish, I'm in a fog. The camera store is not hard to locate. The Jewish Sabbath being Saturday and this being Sunday, the store is extremely crowded. I interrupt the clerk and ask if the owner, Mr. Kleinman, is here. He says he's in the back. Who should I say is calling? "Lieutenant Robbins, I'm from Fort Hamilton." "Wait here," he says. I'm left standing alone. The store and its customers fade away. A few moments later, a gray-haired, middle-aged man comes right up to me, only the counter between us. He studies me, face to face. This man sees right through me.
"My clerk says you're from Fort Hamilton."
"Yes, sir." I look straight into his eyes. A second goes by, an eternity. He starts to breathe heavily. He opens his mouth, trying to take in air. "Mr. Kleinman, the secretary..." He raises his hand to stop me from talking.
"You came here to tell me about my boy. You came to tell me my boy is dead. There's no other reason for you to be here. Just tell me. Is my boy dead?
Yes. Yes, sir, he is. I want to reach out to touch him. He turns from me to face the cameras lined up on the glass shelves. Suddenly, with one vicious swipe of his arm, he clears the shelf of cameras, sending them crashing to the floor.
That's it. Everybody go home. No more business today. You can go, Lieutenant. I understand. You're just doing your job. You're just doing your job. You're just doing your job.
He turns away and walks to the back of the store. Outside, the street is quiet. I begin to walk a block, maybe 20 blocks. I suddenly stop, unable to move. I don't know where I am. The buildings are impersonal reminders of thousands of faceless beings. I turn to go, to escape, when I hear a voice. "Sorry, sir. I didn't mean to frighten you." I don't see him at first, leaning against the building. "Can you spare some change?" I look at his scraggly hair, the oversized, mismatched, soiled clothing, somebody's throwaway shoes. I look at what passes for his living quarters, some boxes draped between a dumpster and the stairs. And then I see it, his cardboard sign. Veteran. Every little bit helps. Peace and love. And it hits me. I participated in a horrible travesty. I turn away, crying uncontrollably. "I'm sorry, sir. You okay?" No, not really. Just had a bad day is all." "Yeah, I know how that could be." There is no irony, no sarcasm, only truth. I reach into my pocket and find a 10 and a 1. I hand him the 10.